For the 159th time in history, a Bluegrass State battle between the visiting Eastern Kentucky Colonels and the host Western Kentucky Hilltoppers from Diddle Arena in Bowling Green. Both of these teams picked toward the top of their conferences. Eastern Kentucky second in the ASUN, Western Kentucky third in Conference USA. And they match up today. Jay, here we are courtside. Jay Walton, Nate Gatter, thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday night. Jay, the bad news for Western Kentucky before the game even starts, no Jarius Hamilton available tonight.
No, it's going to already a shortened bench. Big factor tonight, no doubt. He's been a great producer so far this season. Going to be tough to replace.
No Hamilton, the leading scorer for the Hilltoppers this year, and they're going to have to contend with an awful lot, including the man in the middle for Eastern Kentucky, Jansen Williams, the transfer from Marshall, who leads them in almost everything.
Well, he leads them in almost every category despite only playing 22 minutes a game. No stranger to Diddle Arena, having played in Conference USA for 4 years already. Going to be a huge factor for the Colonels tonight.
Meanwhile, for Western Kentucky, Mr. Everything is Davion McKnight, and there's a lot going to be on his plate again with that shortened bench, as mentioned, for Western Kentucky. Meanwhile, for Eastern Kentucky, a 5-3 record, but you said to me before the game it could easily be 7-1. They need to finish games better.
They could be, and that's what Coach A.W. Hamilton and I talked about before the game. He wants his team to be able to close the deal, and so they want to play well throughout the night, have a chance at the end, and then finish these Hilltoppers off at the end of the ball game.
On the other side, for the host Hilltoppers, we mentioned it earlier, the bench production and maybe even some players who would normally be off the bench getting more minutes tonight going to be important without Hamilton.
Right. Well, two things. They're going to have to stay out of foul trouble, and then somebody over there on that Hilltopper bench has got to be a factor that's not used to stepping up and playing big minutes.
Jarius Hamilton better than 17.5 points per game so far this year to lead the Hilltoppers. He is not available because of back issues. He did practice yesterday, just wasn't in good shape today, not able to play. They were working on him all day, trying to get him to go, but he is not able to play this evening. They're hoping they'll have him for another big non-conference game at Diddle Arena on Wednesday night when the Hilltoppers welcome in Buffalo. We are underway. Western Kentucky in white, Eastern Kentucky in black on the road. The 159th meeting in this rivalry going back more than a century. McKnight, an early offensive foul. Cooper Robb just got there in order to take the hit from McKnight, and that is a nightmare for Rick Stansbury.
It's just about the worst possible thing that could happen for West Kentucky on the first possession. I was just about to say, if McKnight can stay out of foul trouble today, he might have to play 40 minutes. And already with a quick one, less than 30 seconds into the game.
And Western Kentucky opens up in a zone, not a big surprise, but this is an Eastern Kentucky team that likes to shoot the three.
Well, I didn't know how early we would see this zone, but with, like we've talked about, with limited depth and a short bench, you're going to have to stay in play a little bit of zone to protect yourself from foul trouble. Did not expect to see it on the first possession, and East Kentucky able to find an open shooter.
Michael Moreno hits the first bucket of the game. 3-0 Colonels in the early going. Eastern Kentucky happy to play up tempo, and the Colonels love to let it fly from deep. 7'5" man in the middle, Jamarion Sharp finds Brashear into the starting lineup. Sherman Brashear without Hamilton, but he's off the mark. Braxton Beverly, Cooper Robb, along with Kurt Lewis Jr., Jansen Williams and Michael Moreno, the five for the Colonels. Western Kentucky goes back in a man-to-man. McKnight, Brashear, Luke Frampton, Cam Justice, and Jamarion Sharp on the floor for the Tops. Robb for three, a couple early for EKU, and it's a half dozen for the Colonels before Western Kentucky's even on the board.
They've been a hot starting team. They love to shoot the three. Over 13 made threes, and I think it's 6 of their games already this year.
Robb all over McKnight. This is a high-pressure defensive unit for the for the Colonels. Justice left it short. Brashear soaring on the offensive glass, saves it, but only as far as Lewis. And here comes EKU. Lewis all the way. Kicks for Beverly. Another three off the heel, and Justice the rebound. Slow start for Western Kentucky at the offensive end. Justice past Williams, who influenced the shot. It's out of bounds off EKU, and the Hilltoppers will keep it. But that's something that Williams certainly can do on the defensive end of the floor. Blocked almost 200 shots in his Marshall career school record.
And looks a little different than the shot blocker for Western Kentucky, right? They're built. It's like he's a tall young man, but nowhere near the 7'5" of Jamarion Sharp.
And he's given up 8 inches, yet he's a similar presence at the rim, maybe not to the extent that Sharp is. He's blocked almost 5 a game so far this year, leading the country in block shots. But Williams holding his own. He's in the top 25 himself. McKnight gets it into Justice. Step back on Beverly. Left it a little short, almost got the bounce.
And just a slow start offensively for West Kentucky, not quite finding a rhythm yet in the half court.
Sharp goes way up for the rebound off the Lewis missed three-pointer. The Colonels have taken 4 shots from the field, all from deep. They are not shy about getting them up. Brashear from the corner, and a 3 for Western Kentucky. That's what you talked about, Jay. A player like Sherman Brashear has to step up tonight.
Well, he's the guy that they inserted into the starting lineup, and comes up big on his first shot.
Robb answers right back. He's hit a couple of threes in the early going. Eastern Kentucky branded as the most exciting 40 minutes in sports as McKnight is fouled. That's the slogan, if you will, under 4th-year head coach A.W. Hamilton, and you can see why. They're getting up the floor in a hurry, and they put up 5 threes in the first 3 minutes.
They love the 3, especially in transition. A lot of guys out there have got the green light.
McKnight at the free throw line for a couple. He's a 78% shooter this year. But you saw Hamilton there for a moment. The most exciting 40 minutes in sports entail leading the country in scoring, 3-pointers made, assists, steals, and forced turnovers. That's the goal. And at the moment, they're 4th in Division I in made threes per game, more than 12 and a half a night early on in the season. Also top 25 in steals and scoring offense. So they've been living up to that for the most part. And certainly if Western Kentucky is going to play zone, we would expect to see a lot of these. Robb has hit 3 in the first 3.5 minutes.
Well, again in the zone, that's one thing you leave yourself susceptible to, is the 3-point shot. So far, they've not been able to locate those shooters.
Good find by Justice. Sharp to throw down.
So far, we've seen West Kentucky on missed baskets get back into man-to-man, on made field goals back in the zone.
Justice on the run, past Moreno. Brashear in the same spot. Left it a little too strong, and Lewis the rebound. Moreno hit that early 3. It's been all Cooper Robb since. He averages 8 a game. Lewis for 3. And he's already scored 9, Robb has. That's 7 shots from the field for EKU, all 3-pointers. McKnight puts the moves on Robb. Fall away is pure. What a tough shot by Davion McKnight.
Well, he is one of the best guards at the mid-range game that I've seen so far this season. Plays with great pace. A tough mid-range jump shot right there.
Braxton Beverly has been quiet so far. Good entry to Williams, but he shuffled his feet, got excited with the space he had underneath, and a turnover, the second for EKU in the early going. 7 shots from the field for the Colonels, all 3-pointers. They've hit 4 of them. Cooper Robb has 9 of the 12 for EKU, and it's a 12-9. Colonels lead at our first timeout of the opening half. EKU up 3 on the road. Back at Diddle Arena in Bowling Green, where Eastern Kentucky has a 12-9 lead over the homestanding Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. About 4.5 minutes in. Nate Gatter, Jay Walton back with you. We mentioned A.W. Hamilton already in his 4th season. The 41-year-old head coach, native of Georgetown, Kentucky, who has revitalized a Colonels program that was struggling when he took over in 2018. EKU finished in the top 4 in the OVC the last couple of seasons, including a 22-7 record last year before making the jump to the A-Sun. Meanwhile, Rick Stansbury now in year 6 at Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers have won a lot of games, almost 63% since he's been in Bowling Green, but still searching for that first NCAA tournament, which has been all too elusive.
Yes, the fans here at Diddle Arena, that's the expectation every year, is to be in the NCAA tournament.
How about that pass? Beverly tried to get it. He was in good position, but he's given up a 1.5 feet.
Not happening. That's a luxury of having a 7'5" guy on your team. You throw it anywhere near the rim, he can catch it and throw it down.
Western Kentucky has whittled that Eastern Kentucky lead down to 1. Steal by Frampton. Justice on the run out, and he scores past Moreno, and the Hilltoppers have the lead.
I think that's what West Kentucky needs to get going earlier in this game, is some stops that lead to baskets. Beverly for 3.
Left it short. Williams on the offensive glass and a goaltend by Sharp. So the first 2-point field goal attempt of the game for Eastern Kentucky comes more than 5 minutes in, and it results in 2 points for Williams, his first deuce of the game.
They had a great look against the zone, and it's like magic. When the ball touches the middle of the floor, the high post area against the zone, you're going to get a good shot, and Beverly not able to knock it down right there. But yeah, West Kentucky cannot afford to keep giving up those looks against the zone, against a team that shoots it this well.
Frampton breaks the pressure, kicks for Brashear. Another three for Sherman Brashear. Had a career-high 20 on Tuesday against Rhodes, and he has 6 in the early going tonight.
He's loving that left corner. He's sprinting the floor hard, filling his lane. He knows if he gets down there, these guards will find him.
Another travel on Williams, his second down in the low post already.
You know, that's twice we've seen Williams shuffle his feet around the basket. And I think that's because you're thinking about Sharp is 7'5". You know you got to get the ball up on the glass quick, or that shot blocker is looming, and he's forced 2 turnovers already. So those don't show up as blocks on the stat sheet, but he's definitely affected the game so far defensively.
McKnight on the pull-up, and he gets the bounce. 6 for McKnight. He's added an assist. Eastern Kentucky going a bit deeper into the bench. Jamaru Brown is on the floor, along with Rashard Cruikshank and Devontae Blanton. Blanton against Sharp. Williams comes wide open for the stop.
A nice job of interior passing against the zone. Again, to get the ball into the high post area, good things happen.
Western Kentucky is breaking this pressure at times with ease.
You know what's impressive about Sharp is in addition to being 7'5", the kid, he runs the floor. He's a target down there in transition around the rim.
Blanton got it up over him. What a play by Devontae Blanton. Giving up 11 inches, scores anyway. Justice through contact. Sharp there for the stick back, and Sharp has 8.
You know he's going to be a factor on the defensive end of the floor, but he's certainly been better than advertised offensively earlier in this game.
The Tops have hit 7 of their last 8 for the field. The Colonels 5 of their last 7. Williams splashes the 3. That's what we mean. Everybody can shoot it for EKU.
They're a very unselfish team. They always make, I don't like to say, a lot of coaches like to say they make the extra pass. I don't think that's the extra pass, the right pass. So the open guy in the corner, you're passing up a good shot to get a great shot.
Brown swatted by Sharp.
Might want to consider a shot fake.
Jamaru Brown welcomed to Bowling Green rather rudely by Jamarion Sharp. Sharp wasn't around for it, but Western Kentucky fans will remember Brown dropping a career-high 41 on the Hilltoppers in Richmond the last time these teams met a couple of years ago, a 79-71 win for Western. But not quite as auspicious a start to this meeting.
Well, Brown is he's averaged nearly 20 a game 2 years ago. Just now getting back into rhythm after some injuries. But yeah, certainly a guy that will be a big part of their offensive production as the season goes on.
So Western Kentucky goes into the bench for the first time. Jalen Butts is on, the 6'9" redshirt senior transfer from DePaul, as well as Noah Stansbury, redshirt freshman from Bowling Green, the son of head coach Rick Stansbury, who has not gotten many minutes in these sorts of games so far this year, but pushed into service with Josh Anderson out due to COVID protocols. McKnight pulls up and misses, and Jarius Hamilton, the Tops' leading scorer, out with a back issue. Blanton tried to feed it inside. Instead, Lewis for 3, and he cans it. That's 6 3-pointers already for Eastern Kentucky in 8 minutes.
Making all these threes allows them to set up their press as well. They do a couple different looks. 2-2-1 right there, as you saw after the made 3.
They managed to avoid fouling, too. That's only the second team foul against Eastern Kentucky, leading 24-22, a little more than 8 minutes into this first half in Bowling Green. Back at Diddle Arena in Bowling Green, it has been a rip-roaring start. Only 8 minutes and 3 seconds in, and it's 24-22. Eastern Kentucky already. The Colonels have hit 6 threes Both teams are shooting over 50%. Jay, we've been flying up and down the court, and this was a little bit of half-court action. It hasn't been a lot, but you loved this passing.
I do. I love how unselfish this team is. There's 9 made field goals so far. 7 of them have come off an assist. They spread the floor. They have great spacing, and they're very unselfish. And you saw that pass right there, passing up a good shot to get a great shot in the corner. And Western Kentucky is going to have a hard time covering those shooters as well as they spread the floor.
Almost 13 made threes per game for Eastern Kentucky this year. That's 4th in the country. They've hit 6 already, and they are shooting 55% from beyond the arc. For the season, a 37% three-point shooting team. Very strong number, but they are far exceeding that so far. Although their pressure has not forced all that many turnovers. If anything, their pressure has been hurting them so far. They've given up a number of easy buckets at the other end.
Yeah, that's been the best way that West Kentucky's been able to find some offense today is in transition. A lot of times, it's a cumulative effect. It may not work early, but they want to wear you down, especially today with West Kentucky having a couple of guys out.
Here's Butts on the interior over Balogun and gets it to fall to tie the game up at 24.
Strong move. He's very patient, didn't rush things, and give a post player a one-on-one and allow him to dribble 2-3 times. That's a bucket.
Lewis is the only starter on the floor for EKU. Blanton against Frampton, 9 to shoot. Blanton in the paint, got it to go. I feel like I've hardly mentioned the shot clock so far. We don't see it getting to single digits often.
No, it's been irrelevant today so far. And as you see right there with the shot blocker Sharp on the bench right now, East Kentucky not scared to attack the paint.
Justice pulls back from Blanton, off 1 foot, and it rattles out. Rebound to Lewis. Lewis attacks, Butts contests and swats it. No Sharp, no problem. Jalen Butts can do it too.
Other end, you see Cam Justice trying to force the issue a little bit maybe early. I think he senses that we're a couple guys down today. Somebody's going to have to step up, and I think maybe he's trying to make too much happen too soon offensively for West Kentucky. Just let the offense come to you.
Brashear back on for Western Kentucky. Justice sits down. Eastern Kentucky has Beverly return to trigger, into Moreno just back in, and it's rebounded by McKnight. Robb is back on the floor as well for the Colonels. Frampton from very deep. Caught glass first, and the rebound to Balogun.
Frampton's had a slow start as well. Hadn't had a very clean look yet. I don't like that look from him in transition. It's contested 25 feet from the basket. I know he wants to get on the board, but I'd like to see him catch and shoot in a little bit better rhythm if I'm Rick Stansberry.
McKnight, the pull-up, banks it home.
3rd mid-range jumper he's hit already. I'm telling you, he is really, really good in the pull-up game.
He's showing you everything old school tonight. He's going in the mid-range and using the glass as well. Beverly for 3. Hits it. Braxton Beverly, 1,000-point scorer in his career at NC State, and chose to come and play for his prep coach for his final year as a grad transfer at Eastern Kentucky back in his home state.
Here's the 2-2-1 look again, and it's, as you said, not necessarily causing turnovers, but it's 21 seconds on the shot clock by the time West Kentucky able to get across half court.
Brashear has loved that left corner. That one misses everything, and Blanton can come the other way. Blanton on Frampton, Euro step, the contact and the offensive foul. A.W. Hamilton can't believe it, but as we know in college basketball, a lot of times if you give officials a chance to call a charge, they'll bite.
Well, they did reward him for giving his body up. I thought he was moving a little bit, and I couldn't tell if he was in the restricted area or not, but.
What do you think?
I think we're at Diddle Arena, and that's how it went.
So Western Kentucky takes it back. That's the 5th turnover for Eastern Kentucky so far.
A little different look now, man press from the Colonels.
Frampton comes free. Brashear on the take. Williams might have gotten a piece of it, certainly affected the shot, and Eastern Kentucky comes back. Williams for three. McKnight the rebound. That's his second. Stansbury's open in the corner for three. Rebounded by Williams. Scoring is slowed down from the frenetic first 8 minutes. Williams over Sharp, way short, rebounded by Bashir.
And Coach Stansbury wants to slow it down a little bit. Calling a set. Let's see what the Hilltoppers come up with here in the half-court offense.
McKnight trying to get free. Rob was making it tough just to get him the basketball. McKnight attacks all the way in. Williams, a blocking foul. Perhaps in the restricted area. That is the signal. And McKnight will get 2 free throws.
That could have been a big call. That would have been Knight's second foul. He would have probably had to go to the bench for a good little rest if he'd have picked up that second one.
It's a good decision in college basketball a few years ago when they finally did put the restricted area on the floor, because that's a call that you did not often see before. Technically, the rule was in place. You still had to be far enough out from under the rim, but virtually never enforced.
Probably the toughest call for an official to make, you know, bang, bang play, block charge, and no matter which way they call it, somebody's going to be mad, you know.
McKnight has one more. Splits the pair, and it's a 2-point EKU lead with 8 to go in the opening half. Hilltoppers back to the zone. Lewis over Sharp, who got a piece of it. Another block for Jamarion Sharp. And he gets out and sprints the floor. Butts has this big size advantage on Beverly, 11 inches. Takes him to the baseline and lost it out of bounds. A Western Kentucky turnover, the third for the Hilltoppers, and a timeout on the floor. 7:40 to go until the half. Eastern Kentucky leads at 29-27 in Bowling Green. The scoring has slowed down just a little bit in Bowling Green. 29-27 is now the Eastern Kentucky lead with 7:40 to go in the opening half. Nate Ganner, Jay Walton back with you from Diddle Arena. Jay, what stood out to you so far?
Well, I think if you told Rick Stansbury that with 7:40 left to go in the first half, they'd already made 7 threes and you're only down 2, you'd feel pretty good about things. I think Western Kentucky's got to get in a little bit better flow offensively. If they can't get a stop and a run in transition, they really struggle to score in the half court. And I think they need to maybe slow things down, run a couple set plays. And I think Justice has got to get going a little bit. He's 1 for 6 right now, trying to force the issue a little bit, but he's a guy that will continue to play better throughout the course of the game.
Not sure there's been a design post touch for Sharp yet either. He has 8. He's scored all 4 of his field goals, but been more ragged touches that he can pick up here and there off the offensive glass and in transition.
Yeah, he's not really a guy that they want to pound it into offensively as far as letting him be an operator down there, but he is certainly a factor around the rim if they can get the ball anywhere in the paint.
Lewis for 3. Butts got a piece of the rebound, but eventually taps it back to Lewis. Brown open for 3. Left it short. The three-point shooting has cooled off considerably for EKU after the great start. Justice recovered by Sharp. Lob for Sharp, a little too low, and Williams got the tap away. Lewis against Stansbury missed it, and Stansbury saves it to Justice. Now McKnight wants to slow it down a little bit, get into his set. Butts against Robb, and the entry pass off the mark. Robb in transition. He hits again. Cooper Robb shooting 33% from deep coming in. He's hit all 4 of his triples tonight.
Good defense by Robb on the other end. Colonels have been switching, which has allowed West Kentucky to get a mismatch in the post, and they're trying to post Butts up against these guards, and been unsuccessful 2 different times. They've tried to go to the well, and he's not been able to deliver.
Good back cut by McKnight, and the pull-up jumper is true for him again.
Yeah, hasn't done much from long range this year, but he is money from the mid-range.
Rob finally misses for the first time tonight. The 19th three-point attempt for Eastern Kentucky in 14 minutes. McKnight from the mid-range is automatic. That's 13 for Davion McKnight. Rob got butts in the air. Brown to Rob, and he shoveled his feet. Eastern Kentucky has 6 turnovers, and at least 3, maybe 4 of them have been that exact sort of situation.
Well, he had a great opportunity there to get to the basket. Shoot the ball as well as he does, and defenders will come flying like Butts did on that possession. More man press here from the Colonels.
They've forced 3 steals so far. That's been the good news for EKU. They have 6 turnovers, but only 1 of them has been live ball. McKnight draws the hard hedge, lobs it for Sharp, who was fouled by Brown coming in underneath him.
Well, this is a bailout right there by East Kentucky. That kind of reminds you of a football play, you know, right before the half. Let's throw one down the field, see if we can't get a pass interference call, and that's all that was right there. That was a prayer.
Sharp just ran over Rob, who didn't get a whistle, and then swats him as he's going up. Foul on Rob, his first, and Jamarion Sharp will go to the free throw line, where he has not made one yet this year. He does a lot of things well, but he is 0 for 7 at the stripe so far this season.
Doesn't look bad shooting it either. It doesn't come off his hand funny or anything, just hasn't been able to get it to go down.
It is quite literally harder when you're this height because of the arc that's on his shot as compared to somebody like Braxton Beverly. The physics of it are more challenging for somebody at 7'5". And there's his first one of the season that goes down.
Off the make, back into a zone.
Blanton to Brown. Wouldn't go, and Sharp goes up for the rebound. That's his third. Justice still trying to get on track. Good pump fake. Good contest by Brown, but it doesn't matter.
Great patience on the shot fake. A lot of guys will shot fake, but they won't give it time to work. They'll rush the shot. He let the defender fly by, stepped under. Great move.
Blanton out for Beverly. And he is fouled shooting a 3 by Jalen Butts. And that's going to send Beverly to the line for 3 free throws.
It's the last thing you want to do as a defender. It's the cardinal sin. Do not foul a jump shooter, especially one behind the arc. And Beverly's struggled a little bit to get off track today, and the last thing you want to do is send him to the free throw line to get 3 easy ones.
So Beverly will shoot. He is a 60% foul shooter so far this year. You can see he went down hard. It did take him a moment to get up, but he seems to be okay. Ranks 4th in NC State program history in made threes from his seasons with the Wolfpack. Perfect resume for an A.W. Hamilton player. One of only 2 players in Wolfpack history with at least 1,000 points, 300 assists, 200 threes, and 100 steals. Pretty much everything that A.W. Hamilton wants to be about. I guess that's not a surprise. His style lines up so well with Hamilton, considering Beverly played for Hamilton for a couple of years at Hargrave Military Academy, and then had Hamilton on the bench as an assistant his freshman year at NC State.
Wow, that's we talked about this for the game. This guy, young man's been around for a while. He's a veteran.
Off the heel, but a rebound for Eastern Kentucky. Comes out to Michael Wardy just in. Beverly can't hit, and Sharp snatches away the board.
To see what West Kentucky can do to get Luke Frampton a clean look.
His shot has come alive the last few games. All the way to the rim for the lefty finish.
Sometimes you don't need one. You just give it to the guy and tell him to go make a play. And he's able to bull his way through the defense there. Strong drive to the basket.
Eastern Kentucky has made just one of its last 10 shots from the field. Beverly almost dragged his pivot foot. Rick Stansbury wanted the call, didn't get it. Blanton has to hurry, lobs for Wardy.
That zone, West Kentucky zone, Sharp comes so far out from the basket. That's the second time today we've seen the high-low pass for a dunk against the zone.
Justice against Moreno. Butts has the size advantage on Beverly, can't finish it. And knocked out of bounds, last off of Wardy. Western Kentucky will keep it on the other side of the timeout. Finally got Butts that post touch they've been looking for with the mismatch, but couldn't get it to go. 3 minutes left until the half. It's a 1-point Western Kentucky lead at Diddle Arena in Bowling Green. Western Kentucky up by 1 at home in Bowling Green over Eastern Kentucky with 3 minutes to go until the half. Dave Gatter, Jay Walton back with you. The Colonels' last possession, Jay, didn't look like it was going so well, and then late in the clock, Michael Wardy came free underneath.
Well, when you got so many good shooters on the floor, as what Eastern Kentucky does, you want those forwards to try to cheat out to the three-point shot. And you see the ball go to the high post there, and Luke Frampton thinking three ball in the corner gives up the dunk. They got to play inside out against the zone, which is really, really hard to do when you're playing a team that likes the three as much as Eastern Kentucky does.
I suppose that's basketball in 2021 to some degree, right? That a team comes out firing. Eastern Kentucky didn't even have a two-point attempt until more than 5 minutes into the game. And so Luke Frampton, in contrast to a lot of the fundamentals that were once taught, was thinking more about the perimeter than defending the rim.
Yeah, nowadays you almost have to play outside in and stretch to the three-point arc.
McKnight to trigger for the Hilltoppers. Frampton's pass deflected by Robb. Justice gets it back, steps back, can't hit, and Blanton comes the other way for the Colonels. Wardy underneath against Sharp. Blanton slows it down. On the pull-up, way too strong. Frampton pops the rebound free. Beverly corrals it. Pass Brashear, Wardy contested and swatted by Sharp.
Not a bad possession offensively for Eastern Kentucky, but the shot blocker at 7-5 just erased the mistakes that Hilltoppers made.
McKnight, mid-range again, and Wardy the rebound. Only the second miss from the field tonight for McKnight, who has 13 to lead all scorers. Robb on the back door, over Sharp, and the rebound to Justice.
Great backdoor cut by Robbs. Not able to get the teardrop to fall.
Justice has been doing a lot of ball handling tonight. I wonder if that's maybe affected some of his shooting, and he's bumped by Wardy a little too hard on the hedge. That is the 7th team foul against Eastern Kentucky, so perhaps an opportunity for Justice to get himself on track with a couple of free throws coming here, or at least one in the bonus.
Sometimes that's the best way to get yourself going. When you struggle to shoot the ball, there's no better way to get going than to drive the ball to the basket, get yourself fouled, and see the ball go in the basket a couple times.
Justice is 7 for 10 at the free throw line so far this year. Second-year Hilltopper with a season off in between. And he misses the front end. That's a big miss. Williams wants it, gets it, and cannot get it to go. Sharp affected the dunk. I don't know if he got a piece of it.
I don't know how that pass from Beverly got through that zone. Again, the forwards cheating to the corner to guard the three-point arc. And Williams not scared to challenge the shot blocker, just wasn't able to finish.
Sharp is fouled by Moreno, and he'll get 2 free throws. They did give Sharp the block at the other end, his 4th, to go with 5 rebounds and 9 points already. He might be on triple-double watch for the 2nd time this year.
As we've talked about Sharp not being a guy that just posts up a lot and they run their offense through him, but I tell you what he does a great job of is coming out high to screen, and then he rolls hard to the basket. And that's what he really brings to the table, is he's a good catcher in traffic. And like I said before, anytime those guys throw the ball anywhere near the rim, he can go grab it and finish it. So that's what he was able to do right there. Just not able to throw the dunk down, but get himself to the foul line.
And he hits both free throws. 0 for 7 coming in. He's hit 3 out of 4 tonight. Brings a lot more athleticism than you're used to seeing from a guy that height.
First time I saw him, well, it came up a few weeks ago, watched him practice, and that's the first thing that stood out to me was how well he ran, and his hands are pretty good. You just don't see that combination very often in a guy with his size.
Robb fouled by Justice, who thought he got away with it for a moment. Rick Stansbury not sure about the call. It's on the floor. The first personal against Justice, and only the 3rd on the team in the half. The shot clock resets to 20. Eastern Kentucky has not scored in over 2.5 minutes. Moreno changes that with a 3 to tie it.
Again, they set up their full court press.
And McKnight is fouled by Robb. Late whistle that the Western Kentucky bench was asking for. That's the 2nd personal foul on Robb as well. 1-1 coming up for McKnight.
Allow West Kentucky to score a few points here. They've gotten to the line here lately and been able to get some things going there, whereas they've really struggled in the half court. And our key to the game to start out with a short bench, staying out of foul trouble. West Kentucky able to do that. Only 3 team fouls the whole first half, and one of those happened in the first 15 seconds of the offensive foul with Davion McKnight.
He has another free throw coming. He's hit 4 out of 5 at the line so far tonight. Game high 14 points for McKnight, who has played just about the entire half. Can't get the second. Western Kentucky 7 of 11 at the free throw line. That has been a bugaboo this season after it was a real strength last year. EKU can hold almost for the final shot because the clock will not stop on a made basket at the end of the first half, so it will keep running down as Western Kentucky tries to get it in. Beverly not waiting though, and now Western Kentucky has an opportunity with the shot clock dead and a dozen seconds to play. Timeout called by the Hilltoppers. They will have a front court inbounds play to draw up from Rick Stansbury with 11 seconds and a 10th to go until halftime. The Hilltoppers up 39-38. Going into the half, if you were each coach, Jay, how are you feeling and why?
Well, let's talk about West Kentucky right here coming out of this timeout, what they're going to look for here. 11 seconds to go. I think that high screen and roll action has been good for them, so I would not be surprised to see Jamarian Sharp come out high to set the ball screen for Davion McKnight to get that two-man game, that two-game action working. Wouldn't be totally surprised to see a switch in defense here by Eastern Kentucky coming out of this timeout, knowing that Rick Stansbury's probably drawing up a man-to-man offensive set. So we'll see what happens here. And going into the half, I think, obviously A.W. Hamilton's pleased with the way his team came out early and was able to catch fire from 3. They kind of hit a snag midway through the second half offensively, not able to put as many balls through the hoop, but big possession here defensively for the Colonels.
McKnight with 5 seconds. McKnight out to Justice. Couldn't get it, but Sharp stuffs it back at the horn. They wave it off and say no basket. There will be a review. Sharp on the follow, jammed home the Justice miss. As it stands, Western Kentucky leads by 1 at the half, and the officials will look at this. From our vantage point, Jay, I thought that was down in time.
I think we might get a reversal here. We'll see what the red light shows, but
Sharp on the follow. Did he get it down? Awfully close, maybe not. Western Kentucky either way, up at the break. Back at Diddle Arena in Bowling Green, where Western Kentucky leads 39-38 over Eastern Kentucky at the half. That Jamarion Sharp putback dunk did not count. The official said he just kept it in his hand a little bit too long. We welcome you back here to Diddle Arena, where we get a look at some of these highlights, including the Sharp putback that was not. And he was celebrating it, but just did not quite count. Welcome you back courtside here at Diddle Arena. He is Jay Walton. I'm Nate Gatter. So glad to have you with us. Jay, in many ways, we've seen what we expected to, in that Eastern Kentucky has forced the issue, pushed the tempo up, shot a lot of threes, and in many ways, the half sort of went as the Colonel's three-point shooting did.
It did. They started out really, really hot, were able to connect. They hit them in transition. They were able to find open looks against a man and against the zone. And they're not going to stop shooting threes, okay? They cooled off a little bit. That's still going to be their game plan. They're still going to get those open looks and look to knock a few more down here in the second half.
Yeah, but one of the things that Western Kentucky was able to mostly avoid was those live ball turnovers. Only a handful of steals for Eastern Kentucky.
Right.
So if anything, in transition, we were seeing more of Western than we were of Eastern when they were breaking that Colonel's pressure.
That was their best offense, especially early in the game, the transition offense for Western Kentucky. They struggled a little bit in the half-court set. Here we see a little bit of the drive and kick action from Eastern Kentucky, and Cooper Robb really started out hot. Known as a defensive player, he's a defensive player of the year, preseason player of the year in the A-Sun. Came out offensively today, clicking.
Hit 4 of his first 4 from three-point range, then did cool off a little bit. This is what we're talking about, though. There was a lot of Jamarion Sharp coming wide open.
Yeah, I don't think he's had a field goal that wasn't a dunk. Am I right? I can't remember one. But he has definitely been a factor. And like we talked about, they're not going to pound the ball into Sharp and expect him to deliver bucket after bucket in the paint. But he does a great job of screening, rolling, drawing the defense to the basket, and they can throw it up there and he can finish it.
So one of the things that you talked about was that the pressure is not necessarily just about what it's doing for you in the exact moment. Sometimes it's about an accumulation.
Right.
It's about affecting the opponent mentally over the course of the game, almost like the run game pounded away in football.
Exactly right.
What can EKU do in the second half to try to turn that pressure into a few more turnovers, a few more points?
Well, with the short bench that West Kentucky's playing with today, even if they don't create the turnovers and get those runs of 8-2 and create the points off of turnovers, they're still going to wear them down. And I think even if they're not able to to score off the defense, they're still going to benefit from that late in the game with the bench being a factor for West Kentucky. Those guards' legs may not be there in the end to finish the deal.
It's an exciting matchup. We expected one, 159th all-time meeting between Western and Eastern Kentucky here in the Bluegrass State. Western Kentucky has won 115 of the first 158, but these are two competitive teams, favorites in their leagues, and we've been treated so far. Hilltoppers up 1 at the half. Halftime at Diddle Arena, almost ready to get our second half underway. Just a couple of minutes time. Western Kentucky leads 39-38 over Eastern Kentucky at the break. Alongside Jay Walton, Nate Gatter back with you this evening from Diddle Arena, where we get a look at some of the numbers from the first half. And obviously the 9 3-pointers for EKU against just 2 for WKU really stands out, Jay.
Yeah, the other thing, too, is you got 5 different Colonels that have made a 3-point field goal. Only one guy for West Kentucky has made one today. Just shows you how they want to play. Eastern Kentucky is going to share the ball. They're going to spread the floor. A lot of different guys got the green light.
It's an interesting half. It was very much stop and start in that we got off to such a high-flying start, 24-22, just 8 minutes in, a scoring pace virtually unheard of in the college game. The pace did slow down a little bit, partially by design, it seemed, for Western Kentucky. The three-point shooting slowed down for Eastern Kentucky. Which one do you think, that first part of the second half, or of the first half, I should say, or the second part of the first half, do you think is more indicative of what we'll see after the halftime break?
Like you said, it'll be hard to match that pace that we saw at the beginning of the game. So I think it's going to be more of that grind, like you mentioned, the second part of that half, and which team is going to be able to get it done in the half court. And for West Kentucky, that means getting into a better rhythm. Jamarion Sharp was a factor. They were able to get the ball to him on some screening rolls from the top of the key, and he was able to finish at the rim with some dunks and get himself to the foul line. So I don't know how much more they're going to be able to a steady diet that's going to get it done. Somebody else is going to have to step up. David McKnight was phenomenal and tremendous in the mid-range game and in transition, but somebody else has got to step up and make some plays, whether it's Cameron Justice getting off track. He's only 2 for 7. Look for him to have a better second half. But somebody else on that bench there, they went to the post up with Butts a couple times on the switching defense. Eastern Kentucky's guards, Rob and Beverly were able to keep them from taking advantage of that. So maybe that's something they go back to. But definitely in the half court, West Kentucky's got to find some rhythm.
Yeah, McKnight and Sharp combined for 25 of Western Kentucky's 39 points. That's almost 65% of the Hilltoppers scoring in the first half. They're certainly going to need a little bit more of that from the other tops in the second half. But so far, Western Kentucky has weathered things on the offensive end pretty well, considering that there's no Jarius Hamilton at better than 17.5 points per game, and Josh Anderson better than 9 a game. Those two combined, you're talking about 27 points a night, not available for the tops tonight. And for the most part, the offense has still operated smoothly, although less so in the half court.
They run so much through Hamilton when he's available because he is such a bad matchup for most guys. I mean, he can play inside, outside. He's a big physical, rugged wing, and without him, it's been an adjustment today. I look for Luke Frampton to get going, too. He's a guy that's got to step up and make some plays.
Williams trying to go for Rob inside, and an early turnover for Eastern Kentucky on the first possession of the second half. That's the 7th of the night for the Colonels. The Hilltoppers have parted with the basketball 5 times. Rob takes a tumble, skip pass to Brashear, left it short. Sharp the offensive rebound. Frampton for 3. Hands it.
Best look he's had all night. Looks good for see the ball going through the hoop for Frampton. Maybe that could get him on track.
His first three-pointer of the evening on his second attempt. He got off to a really slow start from deep this year, just one of his first 19. But he's 15 for 30 now, the last 5 games counting tonight. Rob too strong, rebounded by Brashear. 4-point Western Kentucky lead. McKnight on the pull-up. He has been automatic for the mid-range. A game-high 16, and the Tops have their largest lead at a half dozen.
Really, really good in transition. And you knew when he started driving downhill towards the paint right there, stops on a dime, elevates. He's been great at that all season.
Moreno, nice little shimmy to get free from Sharp and finish off glass. Moreno's been quiet, 13-point-a-game scorer this year. Justice, no look to Frampton. Off the heel, long rebound ends up with Justice.
Pretty good look again for Frampton. Not able to get it to go down, but a great hustle play to keep the possession alive.
Brashear shuffled his feet at a travel. Western Kentucky's 6th turnover.
Taking care of the ball for the most part today.
Yeah, at least in the first half, the Eastern Kentucky press resulted in a lot more for the Hilltoppers than it did for the Colonels. Rob splashes from deep. He hit his first 4 3-pointers, then had missed a couple before that one.
Too easy right there. Just a screen in the top of the zone, and for a guy that's hit 4 already, Cooper Rob, that's a much too good a look for a shooter like that.
McKnight on the attack again, bumped before the shot. Foul is on the floor. The first whistle against either team in the second half. It goes on Rob, and that's his 3rd personal foul. Just 2:15 into the second half.
And McKnight just so strong off the dribble and low to the ground. It's hard to keep a guy that low out of the paint when he puts his head down like that.
Beverly went down hard, and an unlucky offensive foul on Brashear, whose shoulder inadvertently went right into Beverly's face. And we had a good look from our vantage point, Jay. I'm not sure the official, even though there was no malintent on Brashear's part, really had a choice but to give this going the other way.
No, it wasn't. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And West Kentucky picks up the foul, but Beverly, I'm not so sure didn't get the worst end of that deal right there.
He's gone down a couple of different ways tonight, and I think he might have a little bit of blood. The training staff is going to look at his nose. But he got fouled on the 3 down in the left corner at that same end of the floor late on in the first half, and went backward into the courtside seats and took a little while to get up after that. So maybe that was a blow to the back of the head, and now he takes one to the front of the head.
He'll need an ice bath after tonight. He's a tough young man.
Grad transfer from NC State, back in his home state of Kentucky and playing in this Bluegrass State battle. Robb thought about another one. Moreno. Robb for three. Oh, baby, Cooper Robb. He loves the early minutes of these halves, both in the first and in the second. He has a game-high 18.
A little bit of a heat check. I mean, that first look was so good. He was able to knock it down. You let a shooter like that get in a rhythm, you might be in trouble.
EKU back in front by 2. Frampton crosses Moreno, goes into Williams and a foul. A.W. Hamilton can't believe it. He's saying he was straight up. The officials disagree, and 2 free throws coming up for Western Kentucky.
Maybe came down a little bit with the left arm, but that principle of verticality, he's got the right to jump straight up, even though he leaves the floor.
Williams called for his second personal foul. And Frampton gets both free throws. Now 9 out of 11 at the line on the year, Luke Frampton. And he has 5 already since halftime. Here's Rashard Cruikshank in with Beverly forced out. And he throws it away to Brashear. Streaking in against Lewis. Brashear, count it, plus the foul.
That was great anticipation. Brashear from the weak side. Shoots the gap and able to finish through the contact on the other end.
And then avoid the camera as well. Seasoned pro.
Takes a little visit up into the first couple of rows.
Couldn't finish it at the free throw line, but Western Kentucky leads nonetheless. Moreno, quick trigger, got Glass first. Williams on the rebound, and he's fouled. If that goes against Justice, it's his second. So Williams keeps the basketball with Eastern Kentucky. Guy can do some of everything, scoring, rebounding, can shoot it from the inside, can shoot the 3 as well. Big addition for EKU, one of a few A.W. Hamilton has plucked out from the transfer portal. A couple of former Conference USA players. Here's the other, Cooper Robb. Moreno gets it back to him. Moreno for 3. Offensive glass, it's Blanton, and another possession for the Colonels. Robb wants it, and Sharp this time claims the board is 8th. The Colonels have tried 44 shots in this game, 29 from three-point range. Just about 2/3. Frampton lost the handle. Sharp recovers. Frampton with 6 to shoot. Against Williams on the pull-up. Off the heel. Robb the rebound. He's pushed down, didn't get a call. Then Western Kentucky didn't get a travel. Rick Stansbury is furious. Robb
like
for
that,
3,
no call.
no. Now he wants it. Sharp the rebound. What a frenetic game this has been at times.
Stansbury wants to slow it down a little bit right here. Set up something in the half court. A little high screen roll right here with McKnight and Sharp.
Frampton comes free. Couldn't get it. Blanton the rebound. Hilltopper is just 3 for 13 from three-point range. Moreno didn't want the open 3. Robb does, and got it. 7th made 3 of the night for Cooper Robb. He has 21 already. 49-48, the Eastern Kentucky lead on the road. Robb hit his first 4 3-pointers in the first half. He's hit 3 already in his opening 5 tries of the second. 7 of 11 from deep, and the Colonels lead by 1. When you talk about Eastern Kentucky at the offensive end of the floor, you normally talk about Jansen Williams, maybe Michael Moreno, even Braxton Beverly. You don't normally focus on Cooper Robb. 8 points a game coming in. He has matched his career high already with almost 15 minutes to go. He has 21 points on 7 threes.
He was feeling it early in the game, and his first look of the second half was wide open. They didn't do a very good job. The Hilltoppers didn't do a very good job of getting out to him in that zone. His first look was wide open. He was able to step up and knock that down, and now nobody in the building feeling it as much as Cooper Robb right now.
That's a good point, because it did seem like he had gotten out of his rhythm just a little bit in the latter stages of the first half, and then Western Kentucky sort of led him back into it with that first shot in the second.
Well, what I love about that last possession, the three he hit, he passed up a shot early in the possession. The ball comes back around the horn with great ball movement, and he gets another one in the corner. Being unselfish got him an opportunity to knock another one down.
Brashear is the only Hilltopper shooting the three well. That's his third, getting the spot start with leading scorer Jarius Hamilton not available due to back problems today. Moreno has been quiet on the offensive end. Gets doubled, hit, and can't get it. And we will go right back into a timeout with Moreno heading to the free throw line on the other side. Western Kentucky goes back in front of the Brashear three-pointer, 51-49, Tops on top. Western Kentucky leads by 2 with 14:24 to go in the second half from Diddle Arena in Bowling Green. Cooper Robb, 7 of 11 from the three-point range. And A.W. Hamilton, we saw it when we came back from that last break, has decided to give him a little bit of a rest at the moment, which is understandable. You can only play so long, you can only shoot so long on tired legs. At the same time, probably not a moment Cooper Robb wanted to come out of the game.
Well, he won't be over there long the way he's shooting the ball right now. But I tell you, not only is he playing great offensively today, but he's their best defender on the other end of the floor. So he expends a lot of the energy guarding David McKnight in the half court. So, yeah, he wants those legs to be fresh down the stretch so he can knock a few more of those threes down.
Preseason A-Sun Defensive Player of the Year by the fan vote. Michael Moreno at the free throw line was the preseason Player of the Year by fan vote, which is not something I had heard about many conferences doing, but the A-Sun decided to have the fans make their choices, maybe to see how accurate they could be compared to the coaches or the media.
East Kentucky, first year in the A-Sun. They're going in there to make some noise.
Yeah, picked second behind the favorite Liberty. They've been off to a big start to the season. The Flames just beat Missouri out of the SEC by 21 earlier this year. Justice lobs to Sharp.
You're a much better passer when you're throwing it to a 7'5" guy above the rim, right? You just get it anywhere close.
These guys all feel remarkably accurate with their lobs. Brown to Cruikshank. Haven't seen Beverly return since he had the nosebleed. Cruikshank has been in there since. Brown stepped on the baseline, and a turnover for Eastern Kentucky, the 9th for the Colonels so far tonight.
Yeah, when you watch football games on the NFL games, they talk about the receiver's catch radius. What do you think Jamarian Sharp's catch radius is around the rim?
A number too big for me to compute. Justice settles it down. He and McKnight have handled the majority of the ball handling for the Hilltoppers tonight. And Justice with an errant pass just didn't see Beverly back on the floor. Good bounce pass to Moreno for the finish. Tough pass by Beverly, executed beautifully.
Yeah, it's a really ill-advised pass by Justice. I'm not sure what he saw with that cross-court pass there, but it leads right to a bucket for East Kentucky.
McKnight, tough shot over Williams. Sharp, the offensive rebound of the stick back. Sharp has a double-double, 15 and 10.
I think that's his first field goal today that was not a dunk.
He's hit all 6 from the field. He's added 4 block shots. Brown works in on Sharp. Blanton skip pass. Brown for 3. Left it short, and McKnight the rebound. Western Kentucky with a basketball and a 2-point lead. McKnight leading the team with those 16 points. He has been ultra efficient, even in the mid-range, the modern man's inefficient area of the court. Frampton for 3. Got it. Right on cue. You talked about it, Jay. Luke Crampton heating up in the second half.
Yeah, I think getting him going is going to be the key to the rest of this game. Big shot right there from deep.
Moreno has been off from three-point range. Frampton didn't mean to deflect it, but did. And Brashear stepped out of bounds, hauling in the rebound, even as he was alertly trying to call timeout.
Sometimes it's tough to rebound that air ball. You don't expect it to come right at you like that, and he just didn't have his hands ready.
Substitutions for Western Kentucky. McKnight and Sharp check out. Noah Spansbury and Jalen Butts back on for the Hilltoppers. 5-point lead for Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers have led by as many as 6. That was early in the second half. Eastern Kentucky is led by as many as 7. That was just a few minutes into the game. Rob a three right away, back in off the bench, couldn't get it. Blanton dribbled off a Hilltopper foot and out of bounds, and that will take us into a timeout. 5-point lead for Western Kentucky. Has not always been smooth for either team tonight. At times some ragged basketball, but the Tops finding the shooting when they need it in the second half, and they're up by 5 with 11:54 to go at Diddle Arena. Band and the fans having a little more fun at Diddle Arena in this second half, or really since that early onslaught from Eastern Kentucky in the opening minutes. Hilltoppers have a 5-point lead, but it's been back and forth all game. Western Kentucky has led for 14 minutes, Eastern Kentucky for 11. So the 4,200 and change Kentuckians in the arena tonight have been treated to a really great battle.
You can sense this crowd just waiting for a moment to kind of explode, and it's been close a couple of times, and Western Kentucky would love to have a nice little run here to get this crowd really, really energized. And so far, Eastern Kentucky's been able to keep them out of it for most of the day.
Yeah, the one thing the Hilltoppers have not done especially well tonight is shoot the three-pointer. A little bit better in the second half, but there have been a few of those that went up when the crowd was ready for it, and it just didn't go down.
Right. One or two of those hits, and it's crowd really, really starts to feel it.
The EKU three-point shooting has cooled down as well, just 35% now. Not a bad number, but not one that's going to win a lot of games. Blanton to Beverly. Finds Wardy for the lay-in just before the shot clock expired.
It's a really good possession against the zone by Eastern Kentucky. You have to respect the three-point shot so much that you go flying out of control a lot of times. And Beverly that time under control, ready to deliver the short little bounce pass for the layup inside.
Justice is fouled by Wardy. And Justice will go to the free throw line for 2. He is 0 for 1 at the stripe so far tonight, and just 2 of 9 from the field. Has not been his favorite evening thus far. Justice had 11 and made 4 of 6 at the free throw line Tuesday night against Rhodes. Second-year Hilltopper on his third school, a career that has spanned an awful lot of years now. Originally joined as a grad transfer from IUPUI in 2019. And was back with the athletics department this year, but as a grad assistant before it was determined he had an extra year of eligibility. He rejoined the team. Of course, he couldn't just get right back on the floor right away. He was cleared to play November 10th, but he still had to get married. His wedding was at 4:30 p.m. November 13th in Pikeville. Then he made his season debut the next day at 4 o'clock in Asheville, North Carolina. Not even 24 hours after saying I do.
Well, Asheville's a nice place for a honeymoon. I'm not sure his wife had that in mind.
That's how he sold it. Beverly for 3. Off the heel, rebound got the top of the backboard a couple of times, ends up with Brashear, and he's fouled. He went into that conversation with an Asheville tourism pamphlet already in hand.
Well, what a luxury for Coach Stansberry and his staff to have a guy that's been as well-traveled as Cam Justice, played as many big minutes here in Diddle Arena, and just, oh, guess what? You can play some more. Let's keep it going. And just his veteran leadership that he brings to this team, and just his high basketball IQ and the ability to make shots and put the ball in the hole as well.
McKnight triggers the offense. Crampton wide open. Got it again. Luke Crampton heating up in the second half.
Starting to feel it, and that that shot was created by the dribble penetration from Davion McKnight. You get into the paint, draws the defender, and Frampton just find the open gap, get his hands and feet ready to shoot.
Blanton for three. Big answer for Eastern Kentucky.
The first Colonel to hit a three this half besides Cooper Robb.
That's 13 made threes now for the Colonels, just about their season average with 10 minutes still to go. McKnight on the pull-up. It is just too easy for him in that range. He makes it look like the simplest shot you could take.
Well, he gets to his spot. You cannot keep him from getting to his spot. And what's become a lost art a little bit in the college game today, you don't see many guards that are as good off the pull-up dribble as Davion McKnight, but he has been on fire with that today. Really, really good going to his right and just able to stop on a dime. I love the pace that he plays with, and he's so strong with the ball and low to the ground.
18 hyper-efficient points for Davion McKnight to lead Western Kentucky, and he hasn't even attempted a three-pointer. Tops lead by 7. They've been up by as many as 8. McKnight finds Butts, contested by Beverly, and a held ball is the call. Braxton Beverly, only 5'10" on the roster against the 6'9" Jalen Butts, but he got his hand on the basketball and didn't let go.
Well, great screening action. The high-low has worked for West Kentucky all night, and Beverly saved the bucket right there. It's just good action by Butts on the screen and roll.
McKnight to trigger. Justice with 9 on the shot clock. The screen on Williams for 3. Rebounded by Robb.
That's another one of those shots. If that goes down, this crowd really, really erupts. It's not able to stick it.
Blanton hit that 3 moments ago. Butts just gave it to him. That's a 41% three-point shooter who just hit, and Jalen Butts didn't guard him.
Oh, he's going to make that shot all day long. Butts got to come out there and contest.
McKnight has been content to slow it down ever since that early Colonels rally in the opening minutes. McKnight has decided he wants to play a little slower in the half court. And why not? He's been excellent. Stansbury, shot clock ticking down again. Frampton, contested 3. And the rebound to Robb. EKU can cut it down to 1 possession. Beverly, but an offensive foul before the shot. It went down, but will not count. Kurt Lewis in transition went over Luke Frampton, and an offensive foul gives it back to Western Kentucky.
Great idea. Frampton saves a 3-point shot right there in the corner, sacrificing his body for his team. Got to go straight up and down, or you got to be able to sidestep that defender that's set up there in the paint. Love the unselfishness, just got to be a little bit more under control there on the pass.
That's the 4th personal foul as well against Kurt Lewis. Stansbury tracks down the ball in the front court, and Western Kentucky can set up again with a 4-point lead. McKnight tried to lob for Sharp, and Williams fouled him. Williams gets his 3rd personal foul, and the 7th against EKU, so Jamarion Sharp will go to the free throw line. Rick Stansbury is trying to argue that that should be a 2-shot foul, but I'm not sure the ball ever got to Sharp, so that's a tough sell.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Coach though. I mean, if he catches that ball, he's going to be in the act of laying it in the basket. So.
And a missed free throw for Sharp, who has struggled at the line so far this year. Maybe not a bad foul in the end for the Colonels. Beverly is fouled in the active shooting by a stumbling Frampton, and Beverly is down. He's holding his left ankle. He took a hit falling backwards into the first row of courtside seats when he was fouled on a 3 earlier in the game. Then he took a hit with the shoulder of Brashear earlier in this second half and had to leave with a bloody nose. And now it's the ankle, and he's not going to get to shoot either, apparently. I thought he was in the act of shooting.
Yeah, adrenaline going to have to carry him through the rest of this game. Get him a couple of ice bags for the bus ride home tonight.
The action goes right to Beverly, who almost had a 3 immediately. Final 8 minutes, Beverly for 3. 1-point game.
Tough shot. He's a gamer. You got to hand it to the young man. Been on the floor all night, getting banged up a little bit, shaken up, comes back with a huge, huge shot.
He was just 1 for 6 from 3-point range and was rolling around holding his ankle 30 seconds before, but buried it anyway.
Yeah, I don't get the feeling he's the kind of guy that's thinking about 1 for 6. He's just thinking about when can I get my next one. He's not going to let that slow him down.
McKnight terminates the dribble. Justice has to hurry with 3. The step back, and he got it. What a big shot by Cam Justice.
Not a very smooth possession for Western Kentucky, but that's a great result. Big shot from the veteran, Cam Justice.
And Justice was 0 for 4 from 3 before that. The veterans going back and forth. Lewis for 3. It's raining at Diddle Arena. 1-point game again.
Okay, never mind. I said we were going to be a grind. Never mind. It's going to be a shootout down the stretch. I changed my mind.
McKnight in trouble. Western Kentucky has to get it over, and the Tops don't do it in time. 10-second violation. The Eastern Kentucky pressure, you talked about it, Jay. It's an accumulation, and they have worn down Western Kentucky tonight. When we get back, Colonels basketball with a chance to take the lead. Western Kentucky still leads it with 6:48 to go in the ball game, but just by 1 point over Eastern Kentucky at Diddle Arena, where the threes were going back and forth and back again. How about it, Jay?
Both teams cooking a little bit now. We thought we might be in for a grind, maybe a shootout going down the stretch. Both teams heating up a little bit, and that last one from Cam Justice was great to see. We've been tough on him today. You know, the veteran, short bench for West Kentucky. You want him to step up and make some plays, and on a not a very good possession for West Kentucky, a step back 3, contested, veteran ready to step up down the stretch.
Everybody's been hitting them for both teams all of a sudden after really Western Kentucky hadn't shot the 3 well all night, and Eastern Kentucky had been in a slump outside of Cooper Robb since the very early stages of the game. But that has changed, and now the Colonels are going to have the ball out of this timeout, down by 1 with a chance to take the lead for the first time since the 14:53 mark of the second half.
Probably going to see zone here from West Kentucky coming out of this timeout. We played the 2-3 off of made baskets and on dead balls for most of the night.
It'll be Moreno, Robb, Beverly, Williams, and Blanton for the Colonels. The Hilltoppers send out Justice, Frampton, Brashear, McKnight, and Sharp. That is the starting 5 for Western Kentucky, and the starting 5 for Eastern as well, with the exception of Blanton in there in place of Kurt Lewis, who has 4 fouls.
Let's see if we get something going for Jansen Williams this possession. He has been quiet all night long, really struggled. Don't even think he's scored to here the second half.
And instead, a quick turnover out of the timeout. Only 5 seconds into the action, not the way that A.W. Hamilton would have drawn that up.
No, you do not want to spend a minute and a half talking about what you want to do and see your team come out and turn the ball over. Very frustrating as a coach.
McKnight had it poked away from behind, and Moreno ends up with it. Beverly to Robb. He wants a 3 for a moment, but thought better of it. Williams for 3. Left it short, and the rebound comes all the way out to Sharp, but he has to save it wildly, only back to Beverly. From the corner, again it's short. Blanton the rebound. Robb wants it. His 3. Off the heel. 3 tries, none have gone down, and Beverly is fouled by Luke Frampton.
West Kentucky really dodging bullets on that possession. I had 3 better than average looks for the Colonels from behind the arc on that possession. Williams not able to knock it down from the same spot twice in the corner, and then Cooper Robb, that's about as wide open look as he's had all night. The way he shooting, you just knew that was going in.
Robb has tied his career high tonight, 21. He said it in his Eastern Kentucky debut against Georgetown College in their opener. And the Colonels have hit 16 threes tonight as a team. That ties their all-time record at Diddle Arena. Beverly with the shot clock down at 6. Gets the screen from Williams. Blanton for 3. Too strong. 4 shots on that possession for the Colonels. All threes. None of them went down.
That possession we'll revisit later on down the road if this game does not go East Kentucky's way, because they certainly had some good looks at the basket that time. We're not able to deliver.
Brashear forces it over Williams, and the rebound to Blanton.
Didn't like that shot. I thought the defender closing out you long like that, you'd be ready to put the ball on the floor. He had a wide open lane to the basket.
Blanton gives Eastern Kentucky the lead for the first time in almost 10 minutes of game clock. Justice all the way, contested by Williams. He got it, plus the foul.
Well, we talked about the veteran leadership that he brings to this West Kentucky team, and chance at a three-point play right here. Just he's ready to step up and help deliver this game for his team.
All 5 on the floor for Western Kentucky at the moment are in double figures. Justice completes the three-point play. He has 12. Brashear has 11. Frampton 13. Sharp 15. And McKnight 18. Beverly thought about the 3. Moreno to Rob for the lead. Too short. Blanton the offensive rebound. Goes back up and ties the game. 4 straight for Blanton. Justice in transition again. Thought he was fouled. Williams the steal. Blanton for Beverly. Wants the lead. And Sharp the rebound. He's tied up by Moreno right away and slung down. Held ball is called. Possession arrow favors Western Kentucky. I should say it favors Eastern. We had it wrong on our scoreboard. It favors Eastern, so the Colonels will keep it. Get a second look at some physical play coming down the stretch.
Just a heads-up play by Moreno, and Sharp rebounds that ball. Got to keep it high. You're 7'5". Don't make yourself 6'5" by bringing the ball down below your chest. He's got to keep that ball high right there, away from the defender.
Williams for 3. Eastern Kentucky back in front. 17th main three-pointer of the night for the Colonels, a Diddle Arena record.
And Williams had really good looks at it last several possessions, finally able to get one to go down.
McKnight
Knew it was a matter of time.
And Davion McKnight will go to the free throw line after the timeout. 3:59 to go, and this battle is coming down to the wire. Fittingly so in Kentucky. 74-71, EKU in front. Eastern Kentucky leads 74-71 with 3:59 to go. Those are both Diddle Arena records. 17 made threes and 46 attempts for the Colonels. 71% of their field goal attempts in this game, 46 out of their 65 shots, have come from deep. So fitting that they took the lead on a Jansen Williams triple.
We knew they want to shoot the 3 a lot. Not necessarily this much, but when you got a 7'5" shot blocker, why go anywhere near the paint, right? So spread the floor, move the ball. That's the result you get. A lot more attempts from behind the arc tonight, and they stepped up and hit them, and I wouldn't imagine we'll see 8 or 10 more here in these last 4 minutes.
That's the other element that you bring up. 4 of the 19 two-point shots, almost a quarter of them, have been blocked by Sharp. So you can understand why the Colonels feel they might as well stay outside, where they're shooting 37%, right about their season number from three-point range. Davion McKnight has a Western Kentucky high 18. Make it 19. He's now 5 of 7 at the free throw line this evening. Expected him to have to play a major role with no Jarius Hamilton, the Hilltoppers' leading scorer at 17.6 per game this year. He's out with a back problem. And no Josh Anderson, who averages better than 9 a game, another ultra-experienced Hilltopper who is out due to COVID protocols. Missed the game Tuesday against Rhodes and will be out this coming Wednesday against Buffalo. Williams for Rob. Instead, it's Beverly. All the way to the rim, fouled by McKnight. Braxton Beverly has taken one hit after another tonight, but Jay, he has shown no fear. You can tell the amount of experience this guy has.
I was just thinking of one word to describe this young man: fearless is what I was thinking. I mean, he's taking the ball to the basket. He's taking big shots from deep, and right there, going right to the rack against David McKnight, and ends up in the pep band.
So Beverly will go to the free throw line, where, considering his three-point shooting ability, he is not off to a good start this year, under 60%. And he made just 1 of 3 earlier today. That makes it a 2-point lead for Eastern Kentucky. The Colonels do have some rather substantial foul trouble to be worried about. Both Jansen Williams and Cooper Robb on the floor at the moment have 4 fouls, as well as Kurt Lewis, another starter, not on the court right now. Beverly splits the pair. Western Kentucky with the basketball, down by 2. Backdoor cut, McKnight got it to go.
What a pass with the left hand from Cam Justice off the dribble for the backdoor layup.
Williams couldn't get it at the other end. Western Kentucky basketball in a tie game. Davion McKnight now leads all scorers with 22. Sharp on the roll. Sharp with the stop.
Here comes that West Kentucky crowd. That's the moment that they were looking for to get really involved in this game.
Hilltoppers back into that zone. Beverly has to hurry. A deep one. Tapped out by Moreno. Western Kentucky's going to get there first. McKnight. Justice for 3. Left it short. Rebounded by Williams. Blanton against Justice. Moreno inside. Nice catch and finish. Timeout, A.W. Hamilton. He's down to 1 remaining. It's tied up with 2:06 to go. This is really nice action. Jay, you mentioned it on a Jamarian Sharp rebound earlier. Don't bring the ball down and make yourself shorter. Moreno just caught it and went straight up. Right.
They've been looking to take advantage of that mismatch in the post. That time they had McKnight switched off on Moreno, and he went right to the pad. I love how he caught it 2 feet in the paint. Didn't have to make a post move at all. Just turn, find your target, and score the ball.
77 all. And a lot of guys tonight have played a lot of minutes. Western Kentucky, the 5 who were on the floor just before that. Brashear has played 28. The other 4 have played 31 plus. As we get another look at this bucket from Moreno. Simple finish in the end, sealed off McKnight.
Yeah, McKnight needs a little help right there. He's either got to fight around and get a front of Moreno, or somebody's got to sag, which hard to do when there's as many shooters as East Kentucky has on the floor.
McKnight has played essentially the entire game, 36 minutes so far. Jamarian Sharp has played 31. He has 17 points and 13 rebounds to go with 4 blocks, and he has not missed from the field. He's had a tremendous impact. And of the 10 on the floor, only 1 player is not in double figures, and that's Braxton Beverly, who you'd think is maybe the most dangerous Colonel coming down the stretch.
Yeah, even though he hasn't shot the ball well, I still think he's the guy that you need the ball in his hands going down to the wire here for Eastern Kentucky.
McKnight doubled. Brashear. Justice against Beverly, the 2 savvy vets. Justice to the reverse for 2.
What a finish.
Last time Justice hit a big shot, Beverly was the one to answer for the Colonels. Moreno for 3. Sharp taps the rebound in the air. Brashear goes up to get it.
Zone's been really effective for West Kentucky. What I don't like about that possession for the Colonels, the ball never touched the middle of the floor. Moreno, that's a pretty decent look for him, but I like to see the ball touch high post or short corner against the zone before that shot goes up.
Timeout, Rick Stansbury. Western Kentucky has hit 4 of its last 5 from the field. The Hilltoppers have not shot the ball well for most of the night, but they have been able to get inside when they've needed it down the stretch. They've gotten big buckets from guys like Luke Frampton, who didn't have a good first half offensively. Cam Justice, who was cold offensively in the first half. Really a balanced scoring attack, a lot of guys stepping up, exactly what Rick Stansbury would have said that he needed without his leading scorer, Jarius Hamilton.
Been very aggressive too. You know, they shot probably 4 times as many free throws tonight as Eastern Kentucky has been able to get to the line. So that's going to be the difference in the game. If West Kentucky's able to get this win here today, it was aggressive, got to the foul line. We're the more physical team, I would say.
79-77 is the Hilltoppers lead. A.W. Hamilton in the timeout trying to get one stop. What would you be most concerned about from EKU's perspective, needing really just one more stop to give yourself a chance?
Well, I would watch the high screen and roll action. That's been very effective for Western Kentucky tonight. So you got to talk about our ball screen defense. What are we going to do with the screen up top? But right now, you've got to key in on Cam Justice, the way he's played this second half and the big shots that he's been able to hit.
Yeah, they went to Justice for some big buckets down the stretch, had that tough fall away 3, and then, of course, the reverse layup. Neither one has been an easy finish. But as you mentioned, one of the big buckets just moments ago was Jamarion Sharp, who was left pretty much alone to run down the lane for the alley-oop finish.
It wasn't even a great pass. Again, you don't have to be pinpoint accuracy with a guy like that. He does a great job of screening and rolling hard to the rim.
Frampton will trigger for Western Kentucky out of the timeout. Final minute of the half, and a foul on Williams, who is done. Jansen Williams, the leading scorer for Eastern Kentucky, has just fouled out on a hedge. And the Hilltoppers are in the double bonus. So Justice will go to the free throw line, and Williams will go to the bench.
Not the day that he wanted to have. I mean, had an excellent season so far, and really, really good player. Just not his best day today, and they're going to miss him his last minute right here. And interesting, in the high screen and roll action, that time instead of Ignite being the ball handler, they let Justice take the ball off the screen. Now he's at the free throw line looking to ice this game, or at least give the Hilltoppers some breathing room here.
He's hit 3 of 4 so far tonight. Last year, Western Kentucky shot almost 79% from the free throw line, which was best in Conference USA. This season, Hilltoppers shooting just 65%, which is second worst.
One thing Rick Stansbury always wants his teams to be known for, they want to make more free throws than their opponents attempt. That's how aggressive they want to play offensively. Certainly have been able to do that today.
4-point lead for the Hilltoppers. Colonels basketball. Moreno for Blanton for 3. Off the heel, and Sharp the rebound. His outlet to Brashear. Harassed the length of the floor. Tough Euro step wouldn't go. He hurried for no reason. Eastern Kentucky the other way. Brown inside, takes the hit, got the bucket. Did they wave it off? Oh my goodness, they called an offensive foul.
Huge call. I love the fact that he steps in there, Frampton does, and sacrifices his body. That's the second charge they've given him tonight. I'm not so sure that that was a block.
Frampton coming over to try to make the play, and there is not a ton of contact. He's leaning back. Feet were moving. Maybe he got there just in time. But that is a tough call for the Colonels to take, and a kickball called in the backcourt. The officials are going to talk about this. Maybe clarifying the clock situation. A.W. Hamilton was not happy at all about that offensive foul called on EKU. And Brown got the bucket to go. That would have been an and one, and a massive one. Justice got caught in the air, almost turned it over. Moreno lost it on the sideline. Justice got caught in the air. He had to get rid of it. Moreno cut off the passing lane, but just couldn't keep it in play. Western Kentucky, according to the officials, still has 5 seconds to get it over. Rick Stansbury's going to use a timeout, and that's because of the kick ball. And A.W. Hamilton is still hot. He has given it to the officials, saying that that was not a charge at the other end. From the looks we saw, it was really tough to tell. But Frampton was moving an awful lot when the contact was made. That is a tough call for Eastern Kentucky to take. It would have made it a 2-point game and sent Brown to the free throw line, presuming the other option is a block, with a chance to make it a 1-point game at about 30 seconds to go at that point. Now 22.4 on the game clock. And so after the timeout, that 10-second count has reset. So Western Kentucky has another 10 seconds to get it over if necessary. Rick Stansbury's all the way out to midcourt to try to get clarification on the situation. And now he's in a bit of a dispute with the officials. Of course, not a time when Stansbury wants to take a technical foul. It would cut this down to a one-possession game. Everybody seems to be on the same page now. Frampton has to get it in to McKnight. Blanton checking him there. Eastern Kentucky still going for the steal, but the Colonels have to foul now. Blanton's trapping with Beverly. Justice gets rid of it. Frampton skips to Brashear. There's 10 seconds to go, and Wardy finally gives the foul with 8.8. Eastern Kentucky just allowed the Hilltoppers to run more than 20 seconds off the clock from when they took over possession to when they finally fouled. You can understand a team that steals the ball so often wanting to go for one. But the Colonels just cost themselves any chance to get back in this game with their three-point shooting. Brashear gets the first one. A 5-point Western Kentucky lead. It will be a two-possession game no matter what, but there just is not time now for the Colonels. Brashear gets them both. Beverly in a hurry. Beverly for the tough ball away. He got it with 2.9 to go. 3-point game, but only 2.9 seconds to go. Had Eastern Kentucky given that foul 5, 10, even 15 seconds earlier, there'd be a lot more game left for the Colonels with which to work here. And A.W. Hamilton is still going after the officials about the charge called on Brown. You can understand why, because it did feel in the moment, and it feels now like that was effectively the end of the game. At the same time, Hamilton cannot afford a technical foul here, because whatever ultra slim chance is left for the Colonels would be gone with any more on the board for Western Kentucky. As it is, hard to see how you don't end up questioning at the end of this game how Eastern Kentucky let that much time go off the clock before deciding to ultimately foul in the front court. One thing to pressure in the backcourt, but another 8, 9, 10 seconds went off even after the Hilltoppers had cleared the midcourt line. Otherwise, Eastern Kentucky would be in a position here to play defense for 5 or 10 more seconds in the backcourt, try to force a steal, and have a real chance to tie the game. As it is, only catastrophe would cost Western Kentucky the game now. It's into Justice, and he's fouled. Might have caught a piece of that in the eye from Beverly. 2 seconds to go. And Justice, who hit 2 free throws moments ago, will have a chance at a pair. Even one of them will ice this game for the Hilltoppers. Looking for a 116th all-time win over Eastern Kentucky. And it goes down. That should do it. The Hilltoppers will win their 4th straight. The Colonels will drop their 3rd in a row. Moreno from midcourt, and it's off the mark, and Western Kentucky wins it 85-80. A fantastic ball game. Eastern Kentucky had the early flurry and took a late lead, but the Hilltoppers survive at home 85-80, even without Darius Hamilton, their leading scorer, better than 17.5 per game, and Josh Anderson, the ultra experienced man here in Bowling Green, who averages better than 9 a game, almost 27 points combined per night between those two. And in the end, the Hilltoppers able to win nonetheless. 22 from Davion McKnight to lead the way. Cam Justice added 18. Jamarion Sharp had 17. Luke Frampton and Sherman Brashear had 13 apiece. And Western Kentucky wins it with very little production out of the bench. Of course, Brashear normally would be a bench player, so his production in some ways is bench points. But the Hilltoppers got only 2 points from their bench. Those were from Jalen Butts. And that was the extent of it for anybody coming off the bench for Western Kentucky. But they win it anyway, 85-80. A career-high tying performance from Cooper Robb for EKU. He had 21, but too many big misses for the Colonels down the stretch. Davion McKnight had 22 points tonight, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He shouldered a big load for the Hilltoppers, and he is with our Jay Walton now on the court. Jay, take it away.
Here with West Kentucky guard Davion McKnight. Davion, you know you guys were shorthanded today. A couple starters out. What did it mean for you to step up and lead this team today?
Oh, it's huge. I know we down a few guys, like you said. I just needed me and the guys to step up so we come out with the win.
It was a great win for you here today, big-time atmosphere. Now, your opponent today shot almost 53 pointers. You killed them with the mid-range game. Talk about your pull-up, jumper, the way you had it cooking today.
My pull-up, I feel like that's my sweet spot. Get to my mid-range, I know my spots on the floor. Once I get there, I just got to knock the shot down.
Doesn't get any easier for you guys. Big opponent coming in here with Buffalo next. Talk about that.
We just got to come in the same energy, same intensity to win the game.
Great job today.
Thank
Congratulations. Back to you, Nate.
Thank you very much, Jay, and congratulations to Davion McKnight of the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. They win it 85-80 over in-state rival Eastern Kentucky. For our producer, Raina Johnson, and all of us here with the Hilltopper Sports Network crew, along with my partner, Jay Walton, Nate Gatter, saying so long. Thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday evening from Bowling Green. They hope that you'll be back with us on Wednesday night when Western Kentucky is back in action, 7 o'clock Central Time on ESPN+. Another big matchup between two of the top mid-major programs in the country, the Hilltoppers and the Buffalo Bulls here from Diddle Arena. That's coming up on Wednesday night. Eastern Kentucky has a big trip to take on USC Tuesday night on the road